Hey everybody, I'm Sarah, Lonesome Glory, and today I'm going to open all of the Breyer things and talk to you a little bit about the Clarion Inn North and all the craziness that is involved there during BreyerFest. So let's get started. I'm going to film this video in a couple of parts because I have a few models here today that I want to go ahead and unbox. But I also have two of the Collectors Club appreciation horses and all of the things I ordered to go with them on their way. And I'm not sure when they're going to get here, but delivery does not say today, so I'll film once those show up. Today I have the most recent Stablemate Club horse to open, and I have 3 Shelbys. So we have quite a lot to look at so far. And those 2 boxes that are coming still are a lot of model horses. So I'll be interested to see how that goes, but we'll talk about those when they actually get here. For now, I'm going to start by opening the Stablemate Club horse and kind of introducing folks who maybe don't know to the Clarion Inn in Lexington, Kentucky. Anybody who's been to BreyerFest or has watched some of the BreyerFest videos or seen the blog or things like that know that the Clarion Inn is a big deal for BreyerFest. It's the host hotel technically for the event, and people have turned it into a almost week-long event. The Clarion itself is an event outside of BreyerFest. It started off life as the Holiday Inn North. So we have this hotel that has decided to be host to thousands of rabid model horse fans for at least 3 days, usually closer to a week, in the heart of Kentucky. Breyer does put the Artisans Gallery and the swap meet, used to be one, now there's a couple swap meets, in the building in their big conference rooms. In the past there's been Breakables Live in the conference rooms and many other things. This hotel is booked out usually the year in advance. And that's really what the story of the Clarion is. It is a massive marketplace for anything and everything related to plastic ponies. Our first year at BreyerFest, my parents and I was 11. I was there with my mom and dad. Mom still goes with me. You guys have seen her on the channel before, and now we bring my Aunt Linda. But that first year was 2001, and we didn't know about the Clarion, or at the time about the Holiday Inn. We knew that the swap meet was there, and we intended to attend the swap meet. We were there to see the Artisans Gallery. Khaleesi, stop trying to bite my toes. Thank you. I have a cat in the room, just in case you guys are wondering. We knew we were going to go to the Holiday Inn because we wanted to see the Artisans Gallery. We wanted to go to the swap meet, and we had made that plan. So we walked in, we were there a little early, and we start seeing all of these flyers pinned up around the building with advertisements, you know, come to this room, we have this horse, or we're looking for this in this room. And we were very confused. We had no idea what we'd gotten ourselves into. And it was a very surreal experience. Probably more for my folks than for me. I was 11, and when you're 11, as soon as you see kind of what's going on, you have a tendency, I guess, to fall into it. So by the end of the weekend, walking in and out of people's hotel rooms to purchase ponies did not seem weird to me. It definitely did to my folks, especially with how late some of them stayed open. Of course, I was a kid. I was going to go to every single room. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to look at all of them. And mom and dad by the end of the first day were exhausted. Pretty done with going in and out of hotel rooms. And I remember my mom kind of joking and laughing to a couple of the folks in the rooms going, you know, if you guys shut your doors, we could go home. And it was really funny, and you know, the folks in the rooms thought it was great. They could tell that we were first timers. First timers kind of all have that glazed, like wide-eyed look walking around the hotel, because it's a lot. And you know, back then it wasn't even as crazy, I don't think, as it is now. There's tons more people. Back then I remember, ooh, I got the Appaloosa. Back then I remember being able to walk in the hallways, you know, without running into people. Nowadays, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, and especially in the hallway for the 100s, you can't walk more than about 4 feet without running into somebody. You're kind of in a big just cattle line walking down the hallways, you know, shuffling along. It's a lot of fun. I know that makes it sound bad. It isn't. It's a lot of fun. You're there with people who are there for the same thing you are. But it's just crowded. There's a lot of people. I don't remember that many people when I was first there, and that's, I'm sure, because BreyerFest has grown so very much. What I do remember, and what still happens on occasion to folks, I remember being absolutely, utterly lost. The Holiday Inn first, and then the Clarion, is a hotel that to me looks like has been built in stages. Like, it was not planned to be as big as it currently is. Right now, the hotel has a main front entrance, and then 2 wings off of it that kind of go different directions. And that's an oversimplification. I'm not sure that I have like an aerial picture of the Clarion to show it to you. And they've undergone some construction in the last few years. But the main entrance at the hotel lobby has great big columns. The Clarion didn't change that when they took over for the Holiday Inn. And you walk in initially, it used to be you walked into their main staircase. Now you have a bigger entryway and there's a staircase over to the side with some elevators. None of that's important. When you walk in, you are on the first floor of a row of rooms, and those are the 100s. That's where my hotel room is when I stay there. We're the Pineapple Room, room 128. We'll be there again this year, so maybe we'll see some of you guys. But when you walk in and go upstairs, that's the 200s. So far, the hotel makes perfect sense, right? Yeah, that's gonna change, promise. Part of the reason I wanted to do kind of a Clarion explanation video is because the hotel is a labyrinth and nothing makes sense. And after going there, this will be 23 years of BreyerFest for us. So I guess 21 years of actually going to Kentucky because of the 2 virtual BreyerFests. This is not the Appaloosa, so that's cool. I got 2 different ones. It's Mom and Aunt Linda and I, and Dad certainly, have kind of picked up on where things are. Mom and I probably more than Aunt Linda. But we know that if we want to get to the 500s or the 600s, we know which direction to go. And that's, I guess, the kind of clue that this hotel is laid out kind of weird. The hotel is 2 stories tall at its tallest point and has rooms that go up to the 600s. So it's not obviously going to be numbered like any other hotel you've ever stayed in. So that's, so that's kind of interesting. That central building makes perfect sense. 100s followed by 200s. Great. The 100s also kind of curve around a little bit and go into the suites and things like that. At the end of the 100s hall, so on the first floor, you can turn, if you're coming from the main entrance, you turn left, you go down a hallway, there's some of the suites and the larger rooms there, and you run into their conference center. There's a massive open room to one side. there's a restaurant and then 2 other conference rooms on the other side, down just 3 or 4 stairs. And that's the second entrance to this hotel. It is also the entrance closest to the biggest parking lot. So that's where a lot of people come in. They come into the conference center area, which at BreyerFest makes perfect sense because that's where the Artisans Gallery is. That's where the swap meets are. But if you're trying to find a room, it's not super helpful because the first room you come to after entering from the back parking lot, for the first hall of rooms, is the wing that goes off towards the side. And those start with 500. And there is an upstairs portion. There's an elevator to get to that upstairs portion, just like there is to get from the 100s to the 200s. Those are the 600s. They've also built a new addition there. I haven't gone down there to see what all it is. My understanding was it was going to be more conference type area, but I didn't get to go last year, and the last time we went prior, it was being built. There wasn't anything to see. So now I have 2 of these. 2 different colors. So that's that end of the hotel. This is my last Shelby to open, so this is going to be the last section of the talk for today. This one, I'm not going to show it to you because of address things. Well, I guess I can kind of do that. But UPS kind of kicked a big old dent in my box, so I'm hoping the horse in here is not broken. But anyway, 3 and 400s. So to get to the 5 and 600s, you walked in the main entrance and you took a right. And then to get to the 600s, you got to the end of that hallway and you took a left. This time, you're walking in that main entrance and you're going to take a left. That's actually what will take you right to room 128. That's my room. Not that I'm plugging that or anything. Anyway, go past all the rooms down that hallway and you run into a staircase. It's a single flight, but it is a larger single flight staircase. And about halfway up, there's a door that exits to the outside. And I'll get to where that goes here in a minute. In the meantime, you have a door that goes, here's the last one. Hopefully he's not broken. It looks like it might be an Appaloosa. So you go all the way up and there's going to be a door and that leads you to the 300s. That's the main 300 hallway, and there's, you know, full hall of rooms up there. Oh good, it looks like he's not broken. It is an Appaloosa. You get to the end of that hallway, or there's a staircase you would have passed going into the 300s hallway. That takes you up to the 400s. They are directly on top. As of last year, when I was there, there is no elevator and no other way to access the 400s hall. So that's, I'm sure, something that the Clarion will work on, maybe, since after they bought it, they put in the 2 elevators that now exist. But yeah, right now the 3 and 400s are rather inaccessible. You can get to the 300s without going upstairs by going outside and going in the far door. But the 400s, I don't know that you can get to at all without taking the stairs. All of that said, that's where the 3 and 400s are. Except for that little door I mentioned. That door opens to outside, to rooms that open on the outside. There's not many of them, maybe 10, maybe a dozen. It's not a long grouping of rooms. But yeah, there's a block of rooms just randomly hidden. And I think a lot of people don't remember them when they are walking around the Clarion and doing their shopping. But if you guys are at BreyerFest, don't forget, when you go up the stairs, there are definitely people selling horses out of those rooms. I did notice last year that some of them had put signs on that door that said, "Come outside, we're selling things," or, you know, in whatever language they use, which I thought was great. It is kind of an overlooked part. So that's the secrets of the Clarion and how to get around. I'll come back in hopefully very short order because I'm hoping these boxes get here sooner rather than later, and talk a little bit more about what goes on at the Clarion. So I will see you when I have more boxes to unbox. Hey everybody, so it's been a few days and I am back now with two very large Collectors Club appreciation boxes. So I figure I'll open these up and we'll keep talking a little bit about the Clarion. So I do have two of these. I ordered one on my account and one on Mom's, mainly because I really desperately want that glossy Morgan Quest. The other models that they chose were also lovely. I'm especially fond of the glossy Pepto Boon Small, but I'm really hoping for that Morgan. And I guess this video is kind of about what makes the Clarion so fun. And that's because it's literally a giant Breyer bazaar. It's just horses everywhere, people selling and trading and making friends and talking to people. Sorry, rattle of paper as I'm talking. I have a full string of this. Oh my god, so much brown paper. Anyway, the atmosphere at the Clarion is so much fun. Whether you're just there to look for things, sorry, there's a lot of that paper. Whether you're just there to look for things that you maybe have missed out on in the past, or models that are your grail, or just models that you'd like to have, or you want to see beautifully painted resins and customs and tack and all of this. There's something for everyone in the model horse community at the Clarion. Okay, this is the box that I kind of got that has smaller stuff in it. I have one that has traditionals and one that has some stablemates and such. So this is the stablemate box, so here we go. First thing. So like I said, the Clarion's got a little bit of everything. People come in and they start setting up days in advance of BreyerFest, because you know BreyerFest is really just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and mostly at the park, although they do have those couple of events that occur at the Clarion. But Breyer has done in the past and kind of still does a welcome event on Thursday night. That's when they do the official opening of the Artisans Gallery. Breyer always has a massive table there set up with so many different things, but usually upcoming special runs, the Christmas merchandise, they'll have samples of that. Web specials from that year, they'll have so many different things. They'll also have all of the BreyerFest special runs, so some people will only see those in person for the first time Thursday at the Clarion. Some people won't see them until they buy them, but that's all right. They also have the surprise model at the Artisans Gallery the night before. They never tell us what it is. Usually they just have it on the table in a bag. So you get to look at the bag from afar. They don't let anybody touch it. They don't let anybody move it. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember if last year they even had it out. Here's a couple more mini Winnie Barns. Last year, I think maybe they just had a space where they were going to put them on Friday when they reopened. So they do try to keep us in suspense as much as they possibly can, which is also kind of fun. Okay, so I was just talking about this horse. I'm very excited. It's Pepto Boon Small in gloss. Isn't he pretty? So like I said, this guy was pretty well my second choice, so I am not disappointed at all to see him in this box. And he looks so gorgeous in gloss. I don't know if I've got my Pepto Boon Small sitting here behind me or not, but anyway, there we go. I'm gonna move a couple things around so I can get this other box open and we'll see what's in there. All right, the next box is open, and of course it starts off with all of this paper too. It's very exciting, but like I said, there's a lot that goes on at the Clarion. And the weirdest thing, the thing that really kind of takes newcomers aback a little bit is that people just throw open their hotel room doors and you walk from door to door and buy things. And it's so much fun. There's my chocolatey. It's so much fun. It's so ridiculous. It is an absolute crazy way to do things, but we love it. I kind of figured that part of what I would do, oh, there's the new ideal. That's really pretty. I kind of figured that one of the things I would talk about a little bit is kind of Clarion etiquette. Well, this has never happened before. Duplicates. I have 2 glossy Pepto Moon Smalls now. That's interesting. This one's got a lot of dapples on his side. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the glare in the box and all that, but all right. Well, hopefully I'll be able to use one of those to get myself a Morgan Quest, but we'll see. Anyway, while I'm opening some of these blind bags that are sitting here, I thought I would talk a little bit about Clarion etiquette and kind of how to best go about it. And of course, everybody's going to have their own opinions on this kind of thing. Every seller is going to have their own ways of doing things, and you kind of have to go with the flow a little bit. But I've been doing this for 22 years. This will be 22 years of BreyerFest. So I feel like I can talk a little bit about what works and what doesn't, and just kind of how to be like the best BreyerFest attendee you can be. First off, people open the doors to their rooms, and if the door is open and standing open, not obviously if somebody's there holding the door, but if the door is open and held open, that's generally welcome to come in. You don't need to knock or anything like that. I do think it's polite, especially in some of the rooms where the models have been left to guard by a family member that's maybe not as into it, things like that. It is best to say hello, to talk, you know, don't startle somebody walking in. There will be people in their bed sleeping because they've been at the park all day and they're hot and tired. It's okay. If the door's open, they were expecting people to come in. So don't feel bad about that. That said, probably one of the best things not to do is to knock on someone's door to ask when they're going to open. I understand that people are excited, and maybe you've seen things in this room advertised either online or on the walls around the Clarion, and you're going to be excited. People are going to be excited, especially if you see that, you know, room 200 has my grail, the one thing I came here to buy. It's completely understandable to be excited. It's completely understandable to want to go there first. And it can be disappointing if you go there and they're not open. I get it. But when folks shut their door at the Clarion, it's generally, especially if they're in there, it's generally because they need a break. Some of us, you know, have maybe just gotten back from the park, and just like everybody else, we're hot and we're tired, and we want a few minutes to just kind of calm down, take a breath, maybe have some dinner, and then we'll open our doors and be more than happy to see all of the people who are there to shop and to talk to us. So I guess this is kind of my way of saying, you know, you have to be patient a little bit. And if you walk down the hall at all at BreyerFest, and at the Clarion or even at the arena, you'll know that patience is kind of an important thing at BreyerFest. And it is the hardest thing to deal with at BreyerFest because everybody is excited. We want to see the horses. We want to buy the horses. We want to find what we're looking for and get a good deal. But every once in a while, we just kind of have to wait a little bit. The other thing, most people in the Clarion are completely fine with you making offers on horses. They will work with you on the price. And they'll be willing to discuss that with you. Some of them won't. Some of them have firm prices, and that's what things are going to be. And that's okay. The best thing to do, these are from the horse box as opposed to the unicorn box. There we go. The best thing to do is just talk to people. Ask questions. Make an offer. I say in my room, we're room 128, which I think I've said multiple times now in this video. We don't get offended by offers. We don't get offended even if the offers are low. It's okay. The worst we can say and the worst that can happen is that we'll say no. And that's okay too. Sometimes people will offer something on a model that's just lower than we can go. Sometimes it's less than what we paid or something like that. And we're just not willing. And that's all right. You're not going to hurt our feelings by offering. I will say that reasonable offers are way more likely to be accepted than lowball offers, which maybe sounds a little obvious, but at BreyerFest, people are wanting to get a deal. They're wanting to get the best price on something that they've maybe only ever seen in pictures on the internet. So sometimes the offers are low. I think when it comes to that, don't be afraid to make the offer, but also be aware that if you're making a low offer, the seller might not accept it. So just kind of go with that. The other thing to remember is that we're all friends here. This is a hobby where we get to spend about a week, 5 days-ish a year getting together and talking about one of our favorite things, which is our hobby. So don't be afraid to talk to someone if you see them with a model that you like, or ask them questions about their collection or anything like that. People love to talk. I always laugh. We have some really good friends that go to BreyerFest. I've gotten 3 of these now. This is hilarious. It's an Appaloosa curse. We have some friends that we've gone to BreyerFest and we meet up. We go to dinner, or we go out and talk, or we hang out at the park. Oh my God, that's 4 now. 4 of these little Appaloosas. I have 1 more left. Let's hope it's something else. We met them because we were standing in line together and we were talking in line waiting to, oh my God, that's 5. Okay, that's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that Breyer has decided to curse me with Appaloosas. That's all right. They're very cute. Anyway, talk to people, make friends. You are not going to go anywhere else in our world, really, and know that you're standing next to someone you have something major in common with. So don't be afraid to talk to people at the Clarion. I will also say, while you're talking to people at the Clarion, be mindful that there are a lot of other people there that maybe want to come into the room that you're standing around talking in. And I am guilty of this myself, of hanging out and talking with a friend and taking up space that someone could be looking in. I try to watch that. We're all very talkative, but sometimes you just kind of have to move on so that your friends can go back to selling or go back to buying. The other thing is, when you're hanging out in the hallway at the Clarion, the hallways are about this wide and they're stuffed with 12 people. So if you're talking in the hallway, just kind of be mindful that you might be in someone's way. And that's okay. We all try to be friendly, you know, just excuse me and walk around. But if you know you're going to have a lengthy conversation, you want to really chat with somebody, you know, they're a friend or they're someone you've wanted to get to know, maybe move it to like the lobby or the little bar area, or out by the conference room where there's usually a lot of space, wider hallways, that kind of thing. That way people can get around and still see what's there for sale. Okay, so that might have been really, really obvious stuff for me to talk about for the Clarion. I hope you enjoyed kind of listening to me ramble and watching me open some interesting developments with the Collectors Club Collectors Club appreciation. I'm very pleased that I got Pepto Bismol. I'm gonna have to pick which one of them I like best. One of the others I'll probably wind up bringing to BreyerFest to try and trade or something like that, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I am working on some other BreyerFest related videos, and we'll be posting those probably somewhat more frequently now that we're getting very close. As a matter of fact, starting Wednesday, we are exactly 30 days from BreyerFest. And I know it's 30 days from now, starting Wednesday, because I have posted a 30-day BreyerFest photo countdown. It's on my Instagram, which is Lonesome Glory 2007. I also posted it in Modelholics Anonymous on Facebook, so you guys can check it out in those places. And please feel free to play along. It is a way for us to kind of get hyped about BreyerFest by sharing our favorite Breyers. And there's a different theme for every day. It does start Wednesday, which hopefully this video has gone up prior to then. We'll see if I can manage to get it done. But if this video comes out after Wednesday, it started Wednesday, the 14th of June. So just post a couple and get caught up, or just start on whatever day you see it. It's totally fine. Make sure you use the hashtag BreyerFestFaves countdown so that we can all see your models, and just get psyched for BreyerFest by seeing lots of pictures of our favorite plastic ponies all over the internet. With that, I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and for liking and all of those other things. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where I'll post a lot of stuff during the day at BreyerFest, so you'll see more of an as things are happening deal on there. And if you do have a BreyerFest video or a question about BreyerFest you want me to answer, please go ahead and post that in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!